years old you reach, look at you were old.
Oh.
What the?
What did he just say?
There's a Furby.
Furby! Chewbacca! Wake up!
Oh.
What is happening? Oh my god. Oh my god.
Go check out the horror, philosophy, and culture podcast Scary Thoughts. Co-hosts Mark Cate and Chad Locke cover classic and auteur horror films, going deep while keeping the conversation light. You'll laugh, you'll learn, you'll spend more time than you ever imagined listening to two nerds talk about obscure ideas and weird films. To listen, go over to iTunes, Stitcher, or YouTube, or wherever you'd like to receive your dark sermons from the cursed minds of the damned. Welcome to Comically Gaming, episode 67. This week we discussed my trip to the Eclipse, Game of Thrones, Stranger Things. In Star Wars news, we discussed the Obi-Wan and Han Solo movies, along with the new board game. In video game news, we break down all the Gamescom news of the past week, and then talk a little bit of trash about Nintendo, as seems to be the norm. In comics this week, we discuss a whole bunch of Joker news, James Cameron versus Patty Jenkins Twitter war, the Marvel Comics boycott, and then the topic of the week this week, we really get down and dirty with Dirk and Jeff, their history, what they do, a lot of EVE Online, some Dungeons and Dragons. Finally, in the spoiler topic this week, we do the Comic Book Club featuring Black Magick, episodes 1 through 6. So buckle in and enjoy the show. I think this is officially the latest that we've ever recorded.
Which is sweet.
Anything?
I'm all about it.
We'll just pass the witching hour, that is for sure.
Absolutely. So yeah, let's get the party started. What's everybody been doing this week? Let's kick it off with Dirk. What you got?
I've been dancing. Let's see. What have I been doing? Ordered everybody's golf. Pre-ordered. So that's ready to go next week.
Ready.
Same
We'll
here.
kick a league off if we got to.
So
let's
let's talk about everybody's golf for a second.
Yeah.
I'm extremely worried.
That it's not going to be great?
Yeah, I feel like if it comes out in 3 days, or the day of this recording that people are watching this, and that we really have seen nothing since E3.
Yeah.
It makes me nervous.
But what about this, though? I mean, how good does it have to be? Does it have to be as good as the first Hot Shots? Because that's okay with me.
Agreed. We've been waiting for this for like 4 years or something.
Yeah,
I want it to be crazy. I want it to blow my mind.
That's true. That's true. We'll see. I mean, it's not a... I guess because I play it every day, it's different for me. But anything's going to be an improvement for me over either Out of Bounds or World Invitational. So
sure.
I'm excited, though. I want to be able to just start a league, period.
Agreed.
You know, and get everybody in.
I got a feeling that it's not going to have the kind of league that I want to do, but what we'll do, and for everybody watching the show, and we'll throw it up in our Facebook group, we're going to start our own league. Maybe you got to take a screenshot with your PS4 after you score the round or whatnot.
Fucking A. Absolutely.
If we do that, it's going to have to be honor system, because you can't quit 10 times because you bogey the third hole or whatever.
Right.
Sort of thing. But but I think we're all honorable.
Just use the share on the PS4.
Right. But who's to say that you didn't try the same course 12 times before you posted the perfect score?
Yeah. No, dude. I mean, listen. Both me and my wife play, right? Vanessa plays. We're both like super straightforward about it, to the point that, you know, it's like a borderline obsession.
Sure.
With that game. What else? D&D. I mean, last week, probably one of my favorite sessions thus far. It's because everything came together. Started a new painting. went to the hospital. All kinds of stuff happened. But
You're still with us.
yes, I survived.
All right. Cool.
Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, I started playing Uncharted 1, about 54% through that.
Right.
Started Final Fantasy 15.
What are your thoughts on Uncharted 1? No,
I love
no
it.
story spoilers.
I love it.
Okay.
I love it. Not talking about the story or anything. No, I mean, it's pretty basic. It's not like, oh my god, but I've already played 3. It's just I dropped 3 a long time ago. It was right after it had come out. But since then, yeah, I want to play them in order. That way I can see the story play out, chronologically.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I'm in the middle of it.
Yeah, so, and then I downloaded a shitload of ROMs. I got a bunch of Game Boy Advances and, what else? I don't know. A bunch of Super Nintendo games.
Gotcha.
Playing Ninja Gaiden right now, so.
Nice.
Nice.
Yeah. Yep.
Jeff, what do you got?
I played Final Fantasy a lot, trying to beat it before Uncharted came out, and then I downloaded Uncharted, and that's about as far as I got with Uncharted. Lost Legends, or Lost Legacy. It's sitting there. What else did I do? I went back to school, so
Yeah.
a little fried.
Into the state fair.
And
You went to the State Fair.
I did. I spent 8 hours at the State Fair.
How
on
much money
Friday.
did you spend?
Only like $130. I didn't spend that much.
Not
Those
bad.
avocados look good.
Dude, the avocados were pretty.
Those fried avocados are the bomb. I
They
had
were-
some in Nashville tacos, fried avocado tacos, and that
The
looks
meat
incredible.
vessel thing, that looked good too.
Yeah.
Which one? The big foot-long Polish sausage with sauerkraut and
No,
pepperell?
Get me hungry.
it looked
Getting
like
hungry.
a sliced meat with like peppers
Oh.
inside of it.
Oh no, that's a pickle dog. All it is a dill pickle with cream cheese wrapped in pastrami and jalapeno.
Oh my God! Are you
Pastrami,
fucking kidding
right,
me?
Right.
Dude,
Jesus
it's
Christ.
I could go for one of those right now.
Yes.
Sounds spam.
We had pizza for the fight tonight, which is good. But yeah.
Yeah, 8 hours. That's the first. I'll go back to the fair again 2 more times.
Nice.
Damn.
Pretty hardcore.
Totally.
Does anybody go to Renfest at all? Any of y'all?
Every once in a while.
Yeah. Minnesota had the best one I've ever been to.
Yeah,
Really?
For sure. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
they do have
The Minnesota
probably
one
one of the best
had
ones.
the highest percentage of people who just showed up dressed up, for sure.
Yeah.
By far. And
Even stormtroopers are showing up at our rent
that
fest.
as well. Yeah. And just the city that's the permanent buildings. And
Yeah,
stuff are
right,
great.
right.
They're really cool. The one
But they're
here-
going to have to move it.
What's that?
They have to move it.
Do they?
That's the problem. Yeah, because that's it. That quarry that's around them.
Yeah.
The people that own the rock quarry want to.
It's time to.
What
encroach.
time of year do y'all have it?
It starts now until October.
Right.
It's every
What's
weekend.
funny is that the same people that put that one on do Colorado before it. So they do the
Oh,
one
really?
that's by my
Oh.
house.
Yeah,
here.
ours is in November. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I think they go from Colorado here to Louisiana.
Right.
We're trying to go as Drow Elves.
Nice.
That'd be pimp.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just see the Tortuga twins. There's 3 of them.
Yep.
There's 3 of them, Dirk.
Corey?
Three.
Me?
Yeah.
Corey.
I did a lot. Dirk, you didn't read anything?
Yeah. I mean, I read a lot. Yeah.
Well-
I just completely forgot, but yes. Secret Empire, all the Black Magics.
So we're doing
Black
spoilers
Magic.
then.
Yep. Comic book club. End of the
Yeah.
Yeah.
show. So which Secret Empire? What are you through?
9.
9.
I just
Okay.
finished 9.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Haven't started Ready Player One yet, but yeah.
Yeah. Alright. Well, I read same 8 and 9, all the Black Magics. I read God Country. I don't know. It's an image book.
You're
God
killing
Country.
it, man.
It's like
How far in is it?
it's like 6 books in it. 4. It's either like 4 to 6, I think. I don't know. It's not too far in.
Who's the team on it?
I don't know. it just there's this website, I think it's comicbookroundup.com. It's basically Metacritic for comic books.
Yeah.
So that was one of the top reviewed.
Yeah, 9.1.
Yeah.
Wow.
So I started reading that. I think I read at least 4 issues. That was pretty good. And then I read Secret Weapons is another one I saw on there by Valiant, I think. And
Valiant's getting into it, man.
yeah, that was really good. I like that. I'm gonna keep reading that. It's kind of a misfit superhero group type deal. So yeah, I read those. I started reading Star Wars book, Lost Stars.
What?
Actual
Lost
book,
Stars.
not comic book, like novel.
Is it new?
It's one of the new. I think it came out last year or something.
Okay.
I wasn't really. It's all right. It's kind of a young adult book, and it's kind of like a young adult romance type deal. So it's about like it's kind of like a teenage love story, which is kind of lame.
You love it.
I honestly probably wouldn't recommend it, but I'm like a third of the way through it, so I'm gonna finish it. But it's cool. It's about 2 Imperial officers, pilots,
Imperial officer love, huh?
yeah, it starts before episode 4 and goes into it.
And ends at the end of episode 4?
No, it doesn't. I'm a third of the way through it, and it's past the end of episode 4.
Oh, okay.
So, but it's pretty. Yeah. Spoiler alert. That's why
You're not on the first Death Star.
No. Well, I mean, yeah.
Go on. Yeah.
But it is cool. Besides the teenage romance part of it, it's cool seeing the Imperials officers like it's them. They start off on a planet in the outer rim, and like the dude in it's from like the upper classes, the chick's lower class, and then it shows them going through training, and on Coruscant, and then it shows a cool different side of that you don't see in the movies. So that part of it's cool for sure. And basically went on Amazon and looked at a bunch of Star Wars books that had the best reviews, and that was one of them. I didn't really read anything about it besides the star rating. So
Gotcha.
But it's alright. Just been reading that on smoke breaks and stuff on my tablet. So watched obviously I think we all watched Game of Thrones.
So
Yeah.
motherfucking Game of Thrones, huh? We're recording this before the finale. It's
Yeah.
like the greatest
Yeah.
ever. I was talking today with this guy at work about it, and the all the complaints
No.
are valid,
Yeah.
and I don't
Yeah.
care. It's
Right.
the greatest TV show ever made.
Think about it
It's
this
so
way,
good.
Nate. Think about it this way. 10 years ago, would you have ever imagined that we would have a high fantasy done with this level of quality
Never.
in a movie, much less a
never.
TV show?
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
No.
Yeah, so
Insane. Insane.
Yeah.
I'm so
And then
glad
having
that,
the whole world watch it,
yeah,
too. on top
it's
of
so
it.
cool that it's high fantasy. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That
Yeah.
something that took TV to this level is a high fantasy story. That's what's so cool. I mean,
And I think what's smart about it is they reeled people in with the political
sure.
machinations and relationships, and then they drop magic like season 4.
Right.
Yeah, it did take them a while to even drop anything like fantasy-wise.
Well, except for the White Walkers at the very beginning, first scene.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that was just like a brief glimpse.
Yeah, I love it. Now, I get the guys at work who are normally talking about Fast and Furious movies, talking about how they can't wait to see the prequels that start
yeah.
with the original Little People and stuff. Like, so down.
Yeah.
yeah, it's awesome.
Down.
Can't wait.
I'm so excited for the show tomorrow. God, what's gonna happen?
An hour and a half, man. An hour and a
I
half.
know. You better like lock your phones up and Facebook.
I think
shut
Cyburn's
down
got
and-
something up his sleeve ready.
Yeah,
Beginning.
right.
We'll see.
And I know me and Dirk, I don't know about the rest of you, we watched Preacher.
Oh God.
Yeah, that's my still my
so
one
good.
thing. I'm gonna catch up by the finale.
So good now.
I'm not gonna say anything,
Oh,
but
God.
God damn it, it's good. I will say this, and no spoilers here, but Corey, did you see that the Catholics are like going crazy about that episode?
Oh, are they?
Yes. They're like, there's all these groups coming out like denouncing the show now
wait.
and all this stuff.
That gets me even more excited.
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh, dude,
yeah.
wait till you see it.
Yeah, wait
It's
till you
like-
see it.
That means
So
they struck a
good.
nerve.
It's
Around
fucking awesome.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. They
It's
struck
really
a nerve.
awesome.
They did it on purpose.
Yeah. Hopefully, yeah.
But,
It was great. Really good.
Whoever's not
Love
watching it, go out and watch that fucking show. I mean,
For
next to Game of Thrones and Legion, it's probably my favorite.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Same.
I had always
Agreed.
thought that what you say, Breaking Bad was my number 2 behind Game of Thrones, and
Yeah.
I feel like the Preachers this season
Creeping
in
up.
particular, is there. Yeah.
I think if it goes into season 3 strong, then it's got to be a contender.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
Shout out to Mr. McCallan. So you got 10-year here. Pretty fired up about it.
I don't have any
Tasty.
beer.
Sorry to
Yeah.
interrupt. Go ahead.
I watched all of the Defenders.
All of them.
That's
huh?
crazy. He watched
So-
it all.
Yeah.
I just watched episode 1.
Oh yeah.
Really good. Glad that they pulled everybody in.
Yeah.
A little heavy-handed with the color, but I like it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we'll see where we go from there.
Yeah. It had its high points and its low points. I mean, I wouldn't say the whole thing was awesome.
I've heard it was uneven.
Yeah.
Like all of those. Like
Yeah,
every
for sure.
single one of those Netflix
I
shows.
know.
Well, this season only 8 episodes, which is better than 12. They seem to
Sure.
go on too long usually, so
Yeah,
8's
that's
not
good.
bad.
That's good.
So,
That beats
How do you
my
rate it?
argument, though.
How do you rate it now that you've seen the whole thing, and what in comparison to the other shows?
I'd still say Jessica Jones my favorite.
Okay. So it's not like, oh my god, it's the coolest thing ever. Everybody go check it out. It's more than this.
Oh my god.
No, yeah, and it sucks because I don't know. I mean, we already know that all these half of them are already renewed for Jessica Jones we talked
Yes.
about last week, and there's Daredevil season 3 coming out and stuff.
Iron Fist,
So it's hard when they get in tense situations. It's hard to get too
Should have
worried
did a
about.
movie.
But,
Do you see the trailer for The Punisher?
No,
I didn't.
It's intense.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's intense.
Need to
Did they
watch
get?
it.
They said they got an Academy Award nominee for the series.
Really?
What did they get? I don't know who they got.
Punisher you're talking about?
Yeah.
I
Not
don't
sure.
know.
Not sure. He's in town right now. Mr.
Is he?
Bersenal. Yep, there's
Nice.
a Comic-Con in Colorado Springs. So is Billy D. So is Timothy Zahn.
Oh,
Nice.
nice.
I could go down to the hotel. They're probably partying in some lobby right now.
We
Probably.
should take the
I
show
need
on
to
the
go
road.
get Lando. I need to go to Billy D and say, "What's the deal, man? Is it just Is it just mum's the word? Or are you really not in any of these movies? What's going on?"
Sure to tell you.
Get a few Club 45s in there.
And then I beat Final Fantasy shortly after we filmed the last show. So like
Jesus
2 weeks
Christ.
ago. Beat Final Fantasy, and I beat Lost Legacy, Uncharted Lost Legacy.
All right, so real quick, what are your thoughts on each of those? No spoilers. Give them a score.
Give them a score.
Yeah, and brief thoughts. Yeah.
Final Fantasy, I gave a
8 cigarettes.
3 Jokers and a Harley Quinn.
I'd say
8 cigarettes. Oh, you're making them think too hard
I'd
now.
say
Smoking
it's,
cigarettes.
I'd say it's 7.
7?
7 cigs out of 10.
6.
All right.
So that'd be 14 cigs out of a pack.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The what do you
That's
So,
maybe
obviously
15 out of a pack. 15 cigs.
favorite back to 1 out of 10. 1 out of 10. 7 out of 10. Where do you rank it amongst the Final Fantasies that you played?
To be honest, I haven't played a lot of Final Fantasies. So.
Well, the ones you played. Where do you rank it?
I did not play 10. I played. I watched 7. I played 8. I played the one with lightning in it, but I don't think I beat it.
That's 7.
No, 13.
Light-
It's lightning.
What's the? Hey,
What,
maybe
with
you guys
Lightning
know.
McCloud?
What's
No,
the Zodiac?
No,
age?
Lightning.
McQueen. Lightning is the female protagonist of 13.
I didn't say Lightning McQueen.
Wait,
You're thinking of Cloud Strafe. Clouds create lightning, but lightning is in 13, not 7.
Okay.
Right.
So of those, where do you put it?
I'd probably.
Oh, here it is.
I know 8's your favorite, right?
I'd still say it's my favorite, and it's number 2 because I didn't beat any of the other ones. So
Okay.
I enjoyed it all the way through. I thought the combat was cool. Right when I started playing it, I was like, once I perfect this, this combat, it's gonna be awesome. And once I really get it down, and I played the entire game. It took me. It's short for Final Fantasy, at least, I guess. It was. I don't know. It was 36 hours took me to beat.
That's
So,
That is
Yeah, that is short.
Yeah. So
But there's so many damn side quests. It's like
yeah, there's a lot of
Story's
side quests,
36. Yeah.
But I mean, the story's less than 36 hours because I did a lot of side quests, but that's how long it took me to beat it total with everything I did. That was my end time, was 36 hours, and but after all that time, I never felt like I perfected the combat. I still felt like I was kind of
button
struggling.
mashing.
Yeah, button mashing and kind of struggling through the battles. I mean, not really struggling. I didn't really die much at all playing through it, but I never felt like it was really awesome, and I was flowing through the combat and doing it the way it was seemed like it was meant to be done.
Getting all A+ grades at the end of the combat.
Yeah, like if I did, I felt like it was
Giants.
because I was fighting a really easy enemy or something. But I mean, the story was good. Final Fantasy stories are kind of crazy, and it.
I like the crazy, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it was cool. The side quests got kind of repetitive after a while. But I love the car. I love the crew. My homies.
Yeah.
I mean, I played the whole game through. I never got bored with it. I came home every day and immediately wanted to play it. I really liked it. But
How many cigs for Uncharted?
Before you break off, before you go to Uncharted, have you seen the mobile version?
No, I see ads for it all the time. Weirdly, when I started playing it, I started getting ads all over through other
Is it
devices
mobile
and
for
stuff. So
15?
somehow they knew.
They just announced it, and at Gamescom they had footage from it. It's like weird, like big-headed, chibi-looking characters and stuff, but it's the exact game, and it's with text. There's no voice over it. But it's all the big key moments are in it. So the only part that I played so far in the beginning was like them pushing the car and stuff, and that's it.
Crazy.
With big cartoon-looking characters that you can play in a tablet. Or
Wow.
whatever. It's
Really?
also going to be episodic, 10 episodes, one at a time. So
Nice.
crazy.
That is
stuff.
crazy.
All right,
Cool.
Uncharted, Lost Legacy.
Yeah.
Lost
Break it
Legacy. I give it Probably 18 cigs. Wait, no, not 18. 16.
Yeah, 16 out of a pack.
8 out of 10. I give it.
Okay.
8 out of 10 cigs. All right.
Yeah.
Sweet.
I
Got a
really
higher-
liked it.
Is it just so again? No spoilers, but is it just more Uncharted 4 with different characters? I mean, do they bring any new mechanics or anything to it, or?
No, in fact, it's almost weird how it's the exact same mechanics.
Sure.
Really?
With different people.
Yeah, you have the exact same tools and stuff. Like, I guess spoilers. You have a rope in Uncharted 4, and like that was kind of the new thing. With the, you didn't have this rope in 1, 2, and 3, and it makes it really sweet to swing around and stuff. But you have the exact same rope, and the vehicles, like you drive the same Jeep, like the exact same Jeep, and like everything is. It feels like you're in exactly like you're exactly like Uncharted 4, except you're Chloe.
Well, that makes kind of sense though, because
Yeah, it's DLC for Uncharted 4.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, but Uncharted 4 was awesome, so that wasn't really a problem for me. It's just that there were some new weapons, and they're cool. So, like those, but it was a good story. It was cool playing as Chloe. It obviously it wasn't as deep as story wise because you don't know her story as well, and they put it all into a 8-hour game and
Stop talking about story.
Instead of I'm not. I just mean Uncharted.
Okay.
Uncharted.
Make sure nobody
was-
slips. I've been like guarding myself listening to podcasts for weeks since it
I'm
came
not
out.
gonna slip.
Okay.
I just mean Uncharted was 4 games, and we got to know everybody so well with Uncharted, and this is new characters, and it's all into an 8-hour game,
Right.
and so it's. But this story that was there was good, and definitely as good as any of the standalone stories of the Uncharted stories. So, but really good. I mean, Uncharted's awesome. The engine's awesome. The combat's awesome, and then this was all just as good as the same shit. So, and it's beautiful. I mean, the graphics are amazing, and I really liked it. I had fun the whole time through. So I really have no complaints. I mean, I don't know. I heard some people were bitching about it. I didn't even really read what their complaints were, but I really didn't have many complaints. It was a good game. I mean, it was $40 for 8 hours, about average when you compare it to. I mean, I think Uncharted's 15 hours for $60. So
Wow.
I mean, so I really liked it. Good stuff. Chloe has a nice butt, so better than.
Yeah.
So,
Nate talked about that quite a bit.
He did.
Yeah,
it's no
he did.
secret.
Spoilers. I'm sorry, Dirk. You're not there yet. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Man,
Chloe's
now
got
I'm
a
gonna
nice
go.
butt. Spoilers.
I gotta go erase my
Yeah.
brain.
All right.
but really cool. Yeah,
else you
I
got?
mean, won't say anything else. Great. Other than that, I bought Hellblade and played that for 2 hours. That's
Like it?
Yeah, how's that?
Yeah, I liked it. I'm gonna go back to that now. I definitely want to keep playing it after 2 hours. We talked about the voices and the craziness and that part of it's cool.
I keep on hearing greatest sound ever in a game. I've heard that
What?
from multiple places, is that you put on headphones and just
That's a new
the
thing.
production of the audio
Wow.
is like the best ever.
Because the sound is really good. I do play it with headphones.
I can't wait to try it.
It's got cool. Yeah, and the graphics, the facial animations are really good. It looks awesome.
How's the faces compared to Uncharted? Like, I feel like
Better.
Uncharted's the high mark. Better? Yeah?
Yeah,
Okay.
better. Especially after, because I went Uncharted and then Tomb Raider and then to Hellblade, and then I didn't think it was that much better, and then I went back to Lost Legacy, and it definitely looks better than Uncharted. It's, as far as the facial animations and stuff, they're really good. Yeah, cool game. The combat's cool. It's tough. I mean, it's like it's almost like Dark Souls or something. It's not. There's no upgrade system. You don't get better stuff. It's all about performing, timing your shit right in the fights and dodging when you need to and stuff like that. And it is tough. I died a lot, and it's got that permakill thing, and so it freaks me out. But yeah, it's good. I like it so far. I only played 2 hours, so I can't give it my final review, but I'm digging it. So
Sweet.
yeah, that was it. That was my 2 weeks.
All right, so I'll jump in here. We're already half an hour in, so I'll try and make it brief. Went to Scooter Rally in the Black Hills of South Dakota. Anybody been there?
Nope.
Okay. You think South Dakota, you think boring. Like, my mind before going there was like Nebraska is what I considered South Dakota like. The Black Hills of South Dakota are absolutely awesome. Totally cool forest hills with a little pass between them. We got into it like driving through. We went through the loneliest road in Wyoming for 3 hours where didn't see another car, no cell service. Like I'm like, I won't bring any CDs. I'll just bring my my jetpack and Spotify. Yeah, no internet for 3 hours. So I had to have conversation. I know that's hard.
That's sweet.
And then all of a sudden crossed into South Dakota, drop into this valley, and boom, beautiful woods. There's a stream with these blue flowers on both sides of the stream all the way through, deer all over the place. And then end up, so this is where Sturgis is, right? Mm-hmm. So we ride scooters. I know, get a real bike. Somebody yelled that at us out the window. That's when you know you had a successful scooter rally, is when a redneck yells, get real bikes at you. So in Sturgis, there's all these curvy, windy roads that go through the Black Hills National Park. And because of Sturgis, they go out there with street sweepers and sweep them off. So, I live in the Rocky Mountains here, but when I go up and ride around curvy mountain roads, I can't floor it and tuck in because inevitably there's dirt in the middle of the curve. And you'll either wipe out or you got to stop and then you're going in the opposite lane of traffic. So you go real slow. So out there, super windy roads through the forest and tucked in, totally leaned. Like I could put my knee out and hit the ground. And then they got friggin', it's crazy. It's like in a motorcycle amusement park. So there's spots when you're coming up to Mount Rushmore where there's friggin' corkscrews. So you'll come out of a hill and you go over this wooden bridge and then corkscrew down underneath it. And so we had a group of 15 of us, so it's like as I'm driving under it and totally tucked into the corkscrew, I could see my buddies going over top of my head and stuff. Nice. So awesome. And then spots where the roads separate. So you'll have a single lane road, teeny little single lane road that's weaving through the woods. Never felt like I was on a speeder bike more ever.
That's awesome.
Yeah, than doing that.
That is awesome.
Yeah, and then you pop out, Mount Rushmore's there. I wasn't a big fan of Mount Rushmore. Spent my time there at the bar. I walked up through the big entranceway, and then there's like this path that goes down where you can go to the observation deck and get right underneath it. I looked over to the right, and there was my buddy Matt with the beer. So I just took a right turn, and we hung out at the bar at Mount Rushmore instead. Deadwood, South Dakota, place where Wild Bill was shot playing poker.
Yes.
Yep.
I got to hang out in that bar where he got shot. It's pretty cool. And then, drove into Sturgis empty the week after Sturgis and whatever. On the way back, went through Devil's Tower, Close Encounters. If you've never seen that little movie, I know Corey's probably never seen it because he doesn't watch old
I saw
classics.
that post.
But, it's cool. Had a buffalo burger outside it. And then did the eclipse in a field in the middle of nowhere in Wyoming with an astrophysicist who brought her telescope the night before. She had us look at all this stuff. I got to see Saturn, where I could see the ring around it,
wow.
the rings around it through a telescope.
Wow.
Looked at the Andromeda galaxy, where we go in Mass Effect after our universe has exploded. So I got to see that. Got to see Tatooine. So there are 2 stars that orbit around each other through her telescope in the field in the middle of nowhere. It was so cool, so cool.
Awesome.
Then we woke up, went to the farmer who owned the field's house, and rode with him out to watch the eclipse, and it was so awesome, guys. The middle of nowhere, like literally an hour from the closest city, in every single little hilltop had an astronomy. What's the word?
Astronomy.
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 Astrology isn't the word, right? That's like tarot.
That's right.
Yeah.
Astronomy.
Astronomy.
Astronomy nerd on top of each peak with like a truck and a tent. So like that's how we knew that we were in the right spot, right? Because we're in the middle of nowhere, and every little hilltop has a person camping out on top of it. And dead center under the eclipse. It got dark for 2.5 minutes. We all had the glasses. She had the telescope where you could see sunspots on the sun. You could see when the moon got real close to it. On the profile of the moon, you could see the mountains on the side of the moon, and so it wasn't a perfect circle and stuff. So fucking cool, guys. I lucked into it. I totally would have been just like in a parking lot on the side of the road with the cheap glasses looking at it sort of thing.
That's where I was.
Yeah, I had the coolest eclipse experience that you could possibly have, and I just lucked into it.
I didn't even have the
awesome.
glasses. I had like a DVD with the Windows 10 operating system trying to look through that thing.
Yeah, you got to get the glasses next time. The glasses are great. They're really cool. Yeah, so that's my week.
Great.
I watched, so back to this crap. Watched an episode of Rick and Morty. Season 2, episode 1. First one ever.
I need to.
It was okay. I want to watch more. I do got to say, watched it with the 11-year-old. Probably a little mature for the 11-year-old. When it was over, I didn't know it was that way. But when it was over, I said, "Did you like it?" And he's like, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I hope you enjoyed it because it's the last one you're watching." And, yeah, we'll see. It didn't blow my mind. So
I've seen a couple episodes. I felt the same way.
Yeah,
I thought it was all right. I don't see what all the hype's about.
It's the greatest.
I know
thing
my
ever.
friend loves it, man. You can't say enough. I haven't watched any, but
I heard they're not going to be. It's not going to stream for free anymore. I heard they were going to start charging for it.
wow.
I believe that. I couldn't even get it for free on my souped-up system here. Anyways, read Star Wars number 34, another standalone story. I don't know if they're ever going back to where they were. I don't want to do story spoilers for Star Wars comics.
Yeah.
But they
I haven't
dropped
read
off
yet.
that main storyline like 10 issues ago. I don't know if they're ever going back. We'll see.
Wow.
But this was a good one, much like the last one. This was a standalone story,
good.
and it was good. I got to say, I recommend it. Black Magick, we're going to do that at the end of the show. Fear the Walking Dead. So season 1 of Fear the Walking Dead, I did not like. I considered dropping it entirely. Me and the wife kind of ran out of stuff to watch and started watching season 2. It's really good. I like it a lot. I like it way better than season 1.
So, I liked it.
We're like 4 episodes in, and I'm really enjoying it right at this point. So going in on that. Persona 5. Started playing games again, rocking Persona 5. I got to say, I want to get to, so, got Hellblade, got Hot Shots is about to drop, Destiny drops a week after, but I don't want to end, I'm in the middle of a palace right now, and I want to get to the end of the palace before I start playing other stuff. So I'm rocking it hard. And I got to say, never before have I played a game that has grindy RPG battles that I like.
Yeah.
Like this, I can just sit down and play it for 3 hours and have fun.
Yeah.
Just boom, 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 fight.
Yeah, I played
I wanna get
for
back to
120 hours, and I still wasn't sick of it.
Yeah, it's the flow is great once you get into it, and the music and everything, and bump. I do wish there's one when you
It
go.
gave me 100 hours in. I was getting kind of sick of it. It's a little long, but
They have the one thing like. When you get down all the enemies and you go for the all-out attack, there's like one moment when it brings up the menu where you pick all out attack or try and get them as their mask or whatever, where it switches music. They fucked that up.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
if you down them, go for the all out attack. The music should stay throughout that whole process, and it doesn't.
Yeah.
And that's a critical miss for sure on their behalf. And then the final thing was Defender season 1 or episode 1. So, boom, done. We're gonna drop in some TV talk. We don't always do this, but a couple things came out this week that I think are important to discuss. First of all was Game of Thrones. George Railroad Martin was interviewed by Metro. He stated that the show and novels have gone separate ways, leading to a much different body count on screen than on the page. He basically said that 20 characters that are dead in the show are still alive in his upcoming books.
Wow.
And that he's going to go different directions with them. So kind of at odds with...
I got a question about that. 20 characters dead by the end of the show?
20 characters that are dead since the last book. So, right, to last season?
20 characters are dead in the show, but not in the book.
But are we talking 20 dead now or 20 dead by the end of the series?
20 dead in the show compared to how many are actually still alive in the book.
Right.
Since the end
but what I'm saying is
Dirk,
that doesn't make any...
Dirk,
yeah.
Since the end of season 5 was the last book that he wrote. Since then, there's 20 characters that have died in the show that he may not necessarily kill or do the same things with in the
20
books.
people even died?
I'm just trying to think because I read the books. It doesn't... I don't know. It seems like it doesn't add up, but...
I got the list, not on me, but I could grab it.
Oh, yeah. I want to see who it is if you got it.
But,
curious.
Yes, right. So, you know, I just thought it was interesting because before the show passed up the books, he had kind of said that he got with the showrunners and that they agreed that this was his story and they were going to do it.
Yeah.
And now he's kind of changed that tune a little bit, I assume, to sell books.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
You definitely sell some books if you make it different than how the show goes.
if he ever writes them.
Right? That's the other thing. Yeah,
That's
exactly.
granted that he
That's the other thing.
releases them ever. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny. I read somewhere, like, his comment about that was that being old decreases his motivation to
Yeah.
write or something.
He's
like,
worrying about a spin-off show before writing the
Yeah,
book.
it's weird.
I mean,
Yeah, it's weird. But
I
whatever.
don't-
He's
I'm not going to call him out,
Yeah.
but
Right. The
enough people do that.
So
That's
just
it.
the other thing is that in regards to Stranger Things, that the directors, the Duffer Brothers, stated that the show will go 4 seasons and have a hard stop at 4 seasons. So I'm totally stoked about that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
In this world of shows that go on forever to make $1 million and whatever, like I love that cohesive story that has a true end to it, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So fired up.
That's a good sign. That means they have something in mind, I think.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Yeah.
that means they can tidy it up. It's not just filler and they're writing every week.
Right.
They probably have an overarching story that's going to finish then, which is great.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put a
Totally
bow on
stoked
it.
for Stranger
Yeah.
Things season 2.
When 300 years old you reach, look at school. You were old.
Oh,
What the?
What's that you just said?
there's a Furby.
Furby! Chewbacca! Wake up!
Oh.
What is happening?
For 800 years.
Oh my god.
Jedi.
Oh my god.
Alright,
Oh.
let me make Furby go to bed. Hold on. You gotta pull his tail to make him go to bed. Go to bed! Go sleep. There he goes. Hold on. He's getting sleepy now. There he goes.
Oh man.
Why do you have a Furby?
It's a Chewbacca Furby.
That is some
He's sleeping now.
prime material right there.
All right, so I'm going to keep Yoda around for when he talks in a minute.
He's like a Tusken Raider.
So, in the Wookiee Weekly news, first of all, Obi-Wan standalone movie finally officially announced. Ewan McGregor not named as the Obi-Wan. They haven't said what age Obi-Wan it is. So they're insane if they don't use it.
Oh, man.
You invoked Obi-Wan's name.
He's gonna wake. I'm gonna
does
wake
sound
up in the middle of
possessed.
the night and he's gonna be above my bed. Oh no! I just woke Furby up.
Yeah.
Furby, go back to bed. I accidentally knocked Furby over when I set Yoda on him. Go back to bed. Come on. Go to sleep.
All these animatronics
Go to sleep.
happening right now.
No, go to sleep. He's not going to sleep, guys. I'm gonna set him back.
Next thing, Billy Bob from Showbiz is going to show up.
All right, so anyways, they're insane if they don't utilize Ewan McGregor in the perfect age of his life, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Like Tatooine stories or whatever.
It's perfect right now.
That'd be tight.
Yeah. So we'll see where that goes. The other thing, a website called Sci-Fi announced. Apparently, someone on Twitter leaked, and this has not been made official yet, that the Han Solo movie is going to be titled Han Solo: A Star Wars Story.
That's fucking cheesy as fuck.
Right.
That's Ron Howard.
Right. Yeah. Right. That's true. That is true.
mean,
so.
It'll probably be in small
Can you
letters
shut them
beneath
up
it,
back
you know,
then?
but... What?
But that's the same. That's the same way they labeled Rogue One, Star Wars story.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
It'll be small beneath it, you know. It's not going to be like...
Call it the Kessel Run or something.
Yeah, that'd be pimp.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for sure.
Are they making like a compendium of them? Is that why? They're all going to be titled The Star Wars Story?
I
all
think
these
anything that's not a true episode number will be called a Star Wars story.
That might be something they have with Disney and George Lucas saying, you know,
He's
still got a
distraction. Hold on.
he's still got to pay the Godfather.
I heard that.
Go to bed. Go sleep.
Don't throw on Amy's bed.
How old is that thing?
Hold on, he's getting tired. There he goes.
Ancient.
There he goes. No. Go to sleep. There.
Not as old as Teddy Ruxpin, but old. I kind of want to get one now.
So there's an app where you can like feed him and stuff too.
Yeah.
He's not going to bed. There he goes.
God.
It's like a dying cow.
All right, so the final bit of news for Star Wars this week was Fantasy Flight Games came out with release their board game Star Wars Legion. You guys see it at all?
Yes.
So, looks like I watched a couple videos on it. Looks like a crossover between Imperial Assault and X-Wing.
And Warhammer 20K.
And
or 40.
Warhammer, yes, right, exactly. So
Sweet.
it's really cool, man. I just
Down.
it's.
I hate painting all that. I do not have the time to paint it.
I don't have the time to paint.
Quick
either.
question.
Yeah.
Real quick
42.
question. Would y'all be up for maybe at some point, far in the future probably,
It's ambiguous.
playing instead of D&D like a Star Wars role-playing game, RPG, like traditional RPG?
You're speaking
You
my
mean like
language.
the 30th anniversary one that they just released.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking, but I want to adopt the 5e mechanics to it.
If we
Instead.
can, yeah.
Yeah.
I'd be down with that.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
sweet.
Yeah. Use the 5e mechanics and apply it to that.
That's not even a question.
Okay. I was curious.
Yep, absolutely.
That might be one for you to do, Nate.
Yeah,
Because I don't. Yeah.
I respect the hell out of how awesome you make it, Dirk, because of the time commitment that takes. And
Yeah.
that's what I keep wanting to make, even just a little mini one to give you a break the next time, and can't find the time to do it. But summer's over now. Kids are back in school. That's going to free up some time for me. So I'm hoping I'll get to it soon. For sure.
Sweet.
All right.
Legion looked pretty sweet, and
It does.
I started watching those videos, and those dudes started painting Luke Skywalker, and I'm like, I don't have time.
Right. So even without painting, because I should paint my Imperial Assault characters, and I still haven't gotten around to it. But even without that, I think it looks fun to have the kind of firefight mechanics where taking cover and things like that.
Yeah.
I definitely am into it. If
And stormtroopers actually don't miss.
Correct. Video games news this week. I'm going to try and blow through these for the sake of not having a 2-hour show at 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
Gamescom was this past week in Germany. If you don't know anything about Gamescom, it's actually the highest attended video game show in the world. So they talk about 500,000 people or whatever show up for this thing. Shockingly few announcements. You know, E3 seems to be where everybody announces stuff, even though there's less people there. There was a lot of Assassin's Creed Origins in the Star Wars Battlefront 2. They basically debuted the space battles in it. They look beautiful, as you would expect that they do. I'm still on the fence with Battlefront 2. I feel like it looks beautiful, so did the first one. I don't know if they're going to have the mechanics to keep me coming back. You know, I'll be shocked if it pulls me away from Destiny 2 in a significant way, is basically what I'm trying to say. I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I would definitely play through the story, but that won't take long.
Correct.
You know, I mean, as far as multiplayer goes, I'm sure I'll be sticking to Destiny. I just hope it has a decent story and we can pick it up every once in a while and play it, and it's more fun than the first one. But I don't plan on them being my primary online shooter at all or anything. So,
which is a shame because it could be, right?
Could be, yeah.
Destiny doesn't have a story.
Yeah.
If you mix the two together, then I'm whipping down my pants.
Yeah. But you know it's not going to be there's no way the multiplayer online is going to be as good as Destiny.
Correct.
I mean, it's just not possible. I mean, it's possible, but it's not going to be. It's going to be just like Battlefield and Battlefront and just like the online is.
Yeah. I feel like Battlefield 1 was much better than Battlefront.
So do I.
I'm hoping that the actual gameplay is better because of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I look forward to the space battles.
Yeah.
In Battlefront. That's what I'm looking forward to.
Yep.
Because Darth Maul's ship has a cloaking device.
Ooh,
yeah. That looks sick.
You figure Darth Maul's ship. What's his face? Kylo.
What, Poe? Oh, Kylo Ren. Yeah.
Right. I want to fly that thing around.
Yep. Those will be the special ones, like in the current one where you get the Millennium Falcon and you get the Slave One and.
Right. From what I understand, the Slave One bombs that they drop are cool, like they are in Episode 2.
Oh, also. The concussion bombs.
Yeah. Right.
Those are badass.
Yep. So again, I said I was going to blow through this. We're already slowing down.
Yep.
Bethesda announced Skyrim, Doom, Fallout 4 VR, all coming out before the end of the year.
Wow.
So, VR fans, get ready.
Jeff.
There you go,
Jeff, get on that.
Well, I got to clear my schedule.
Fear Effect, Sedna.
You're a VR expert. No.
I played Fear.
So PlayStation 1 game had kind of Resident Evil tank controls, was really edgy in the fact that in kind of like an uncomfortable making lesbians seem sexy to teenage boys kind of way, but with a sci-fi story as well. It looks like I'm selling this to Corey. But, I gotta say, like, I really enjoyed it at the time. I think if you went back and played it now, it'd be a little cringy. But I am stoked about if they did it right, a new entry in that. The Biomutant. Anybody see that?
No.
Oh.
So
haven't
new
seen
game
shit.
announced by the studio that did the Just Cause games, where you're basically this little furry cat rabbit thing, and it's an open world game that's fantasy. He does the developer said that it was inspired by John Woo movies. So
Oh, nice.
he does
Wow.
like slow motion shooting with swordplay in the middle of it. I'd really recommend go look at some
I'm
videos
reading.
for
Yeah, it says
Biomutant.
evokes
Biomutant.
Zelda, but with mechs and mutants.
Yeah, right. Yeah, he rides this like giant robot hand around that scurries like a horror movie and stuff. Like, it impressed me on multiple levels for sure.
Wow.
Sounds cool.
Yep. The Sonic Mania. Anybody here like Sonic?
I did.
I played
I mean,
it
I
when
had
the
a
Genesis came out.
Yeah.
I played
feel
the
like-
shit out of it on the Genesis.
I feel like you go back and play those games now and they're garbage. And if you go back and play Mario games now, they stand up. You know what I mean? That's my personal opinion. So that's why I was asking.
Jeff obviously feels a different way.
Jeff hates Mario, so.
Well,
That's what I
I
mean.
forgot about that.
Jeff hates Mario. I'm getting you a I Hate Mario shirt.
Oh.
Look.
So I only bring it up because Sonic Mania just came out. Everybody acts like it's a great game if you like Sonic. So there's lots of callbacks and whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't want to hate on
I mean,
Sonic
I'm
too
never gonna
hard
get
for
it.
the Sonic fans. Although I did hate on Sonic pretty hard right there. The Destiny 2 launch trailer. You guys watch it? Anybody?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Looks awesome, huh?
Looks pretty
Looks
pimp.
badass.
Do I need to play the first one to play the second one?
No, because the story's completely nonsensical.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
So I can jump in. I might actually jump in. I know you guys are. I don't know how the leveling and all that. If you get a head start,
You'll be good.
Here's
I'll
the
level
thing,
with
Dirk. Here's the thing with Destiny. It's not something that you can play 2 hours a week. Right? Like, if you jump in day one and hit it up every day for a little bit, and then on the weekends hit it hard some night, you'll be fine. You'll be playing with us in no time. But
it's a big task.
yeah, right. But and I'm just letting you know because
Yeah.
it is to my mind, Destiny is my favorite first-person shooter of all time.
Yeah.
Right.
That being said, it's if you only have 3 hours a week to devote to it, you're
Yeah.
not gonna be able to hang with us.
It's a game of devotion.
Yeah, and to me, that's because of the love.
It's less than it used to be. Like, I mean, year one, the grind isn't nearly as hard nowadays, but
Yeah.
I mean, it was a lot easier in the second year, especially when you could, with the fusion system with the weapons, it's a lot easier to get your level up.
I
I'd
disagree
be willing
though,
to
Corey.
put some stuff. I'd be willing to put some stuff on the side for it if it's that great. You know.
The
Yes.
thing is Destiny's all about the raids, and it's a grind to get to the point where you can do the raids.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Like once you get there,
Depends.
It's
you
like
can
in the
stop
MMO.
the grind. Right.
If you go pretty hard in the banner, you can get there pretty quick.
But you got to go hard. That's all I'm saying.
I'll
Yeah.
roll with you, Dirk.
You gotta go hard.
$60 on it if you
Yeah.
only have a couple hours a week to devote to it.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
just playing through the story missions, you're never going to play with us if that's the
Right.
case. You know, so
No, well, it's also contingent upon me having a good online, setup. So
we'll see how that works.
Call your
with that,
cable provider.
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
All right.
I have
So
one. It's a Monopoly.
on top of that, Shadow of War, Monsters of Mordor trailer. You guys watch that?
That looked badass.
God,
Yes.
I went from a week ago being mad at Shadows of War because of microtransactions to be like, fuck, I'm buying this.
Dude, that dragon riding
Right?
scene. Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it looks so good. And
Oh.
and the what's his face? The You Shall Not Pass thing. What's
Yeah.
it called?
Balrog.
Balrog, the Balrog.
Yeah.
Man,
Yeah,
fucking badass.
Yep.
Looking great. So
I'm in.
yeah, I literally went from
You
being
shall not
upset
pass
at
me.
it to being like must play again. So with
Not
that one
mad.
trailer. Next thing, HTC Vive dropped down to $599. FYI, if you're thinking
Good,
about
man.
buying. Yeah, if you're thinking about
Still better
Getting
get a
the VR.
PlayStation.
Yeah.
Jurassic World Evolution. Anybody see it?
No.
Briefly, not.
Okay,
But-
so Jurassic Park game combines real-time strategy with like a SimCity building thing. So
So it's build your own Jurassic Park, SimCity style.
and then have battles with dinosaurs and stuff.
So Pokemon.
Kinda.
Yeah, it might be something.
Really?
No.
Final
Like-
Fantasy 15.
Like Fire Emblem? Or?
Yes, with dinosaurs.
That's cool.
Yeah, it looks cool. It honestly does. I won't have time for it this year. There's no chance, but it looks cool. Final Fantasy 15 and Assassin's Creed crossover.
That's
Yes.
Jeff's thing.
That
huh?
actually starts on the 31st, so Thursday is when they kick it off, and it's
What
just
do
the
you mean?
Assassins Festival. So basically, Final Fantasy 15 characters moving as assassins and has
They
hide
wear the
and-
gear.
They wear the
Oh.
gear. It's Altair's armor from the first one, but they can hide in hay bales and do the leap of faith off buildings, and so it's intermixed. And if you meet up with the Moogle Chocobo by the end of late September, you can unlock the Master Assassin's garb for Noctis.
Nice. In what? In Assassin's Creed?
No, in Final Fantasy.
No, in Final Fantasy.
Final Fantasy.
But it's Assassin's Creed. It's Final Fantasy characters in Assassin's Creed?
It's
Is
both.
there also-
It's Assassin's Creed.
Assassin's
gear
Creed
in Final Fantasy 15.
Final Fantasy, but the gameplay is like Assassin's Creed. So you'll see like where to go
That
for
is
missions,
nutsoid.
and you can sit there and take Noctis and climb up and get the map unlocked and jump off and
Climb up what? The buildings in Final Fantasy 15?
yes,
Yes.
Where?
that big city that's up on
Really?
the camera. Yeah,
That is insane.
It's
Dude.
going to be in Final Fantasy 15?
Yes.
What, a DLC?
DLC on the
Yes.
31st. So Thursday, 2 days after we drop this show.
That sounds weird. What?
That sounds bizarre, but it's kind of interesting.
It
Yeah.
sounds cool. I'm going to have to check that out.
Check it out. So
Out.
the rest of this video game segment, I'm going to devote to talking shit about Nintendo. I want to.
Easy to do.
Yeah, right. So I want to start with my disclaimer that Nintendo continues to make some of the greatest video games of all time. That my experience with Breath of the Wild this year has completely blown me away and changed open world games for all time. So I do have some love for Nintendo. I do want a Switch. But here's what
I'm
I want
over
to
the
talk
Switch.
about. There's a
It
buzz
pissed me
real
off.
quick here. So, Corey, you'll change your mind once you're playing Zelda and having the greatest time of your life for sure.
Yeah.
So, Splatoon 2. So this is I just wanted to bring this up a little bit. Anybody hear about this? How Splatoon 2's online works?
No, I don't think so.
Okay,
A little bit.
so if
But
you
Voice
have,
chat?
what's that?
Voice chat?
No, not that. That partying up in Splatoon 2.
Oh.
So here's the deal. If you have a full group, so if you have 4 people or 8 people, and for the different game modes in there, you can create a party before, go in and play together. If you have 3 players that want to play together, there is no way for you to add a random player as your 4th person. So you cannot play the 4-player
What?
game modes
What?
with that. If you have less than that, so say me and you both have a Switch, Jeff, and we want to play Splatoon 2. When I send you the request to play Splatoon 2, it's completely random whether we're on the same team or different teams.
Oh.
Really?
So,
That's
It's-
retarded.
Jeez.
and
What a mess.
the
I
voice
just-
chat starts and ends based on each game. It's like people were able to play competitive shooters online with
10
their
years ago.
friends 15 years ago
Yeah.
on the Xbox One, right?
Xbox, yeah.
The Switch doesn't have it straight still. It's unbelievable to me that that's the case. And so I don't know, like to my mind, still, again, I want a
What are they
Switch.
doing?
I just, it's totally relegated to the, I want to play Zelda, I want to play Metroid, I want to play Mario. I
Yeah.
know Jeff doesn't want to play Mario, but I do want to play it. And I will never say, okay, Corey, me and you need to get a Switch so we can play Splatoon together. You know what I mean? Or whatever the case is. Like, just throw that stuff in the garbage because it's never going to happen. Like, it's insane that they haven't followed what everybody else does with online games. So I just wanted to throw that out there. When I heard all that this week, it really blew me away how backwards that is.
Yeah.
And then last week, the Super Nintendo Classic
dude, that was...
went up for pre-order and immediately made everyone in the world mad about this again. Like,
immediately.
Crazy.
But we called that. I mean, we knew
did.
it. We knew that was going to happen.
Yeah, it's insulting. Like, they purely do this for marketing, right? Mm-hmm. Not for their fans. If they did it for
but it's
their
bad
fans,
marketing.
right. But you know, it is that it gets their name out there thing. You know, if they did it for the fans, it wouldn't be done this way. You know, and it clearly isn't. You know, so whatever.
It's negative association, though. I don't know why they seem to think that bad press is still press, but bad press is bad press when it comes to gaming. I mean,
I agree.
Especially that. That's just a mess.
Yeah.
I agree.
That's why, you know, I read that and I was like, wow, they did pre-orders and no one did.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, it's funny.
Yeah.
Like, okay, so the people that were interested in it, which is like people like Vanessa, you know, she was totally all in on the original NES reissue.
My sister.
And they botched it completely to where she doesn't even remember that it came out.
That's why.
Yeah.
That's why I'm building my own tabletop arcade system.
Yeah, it's just too easy.
With an IKEA table and a Raspberry Pi.
Raspberry Pi.
I'm going to have
What kind of monitor are you going to use?
I got a widescreen monitor. I'm just going to take it apart and just use.
Dude.
Yep.
No.
It's going to look like the old.
Get a TV. Get one of the old TVs.
CRTs.
Yeah.
I'm going to put it into a table from IKEA that costs like $15.
Right.
I don't think it's going to support the weight of a freaking CRT.
I've got a friend that's got the Pac-Man table or Miss Pac-Man in her living room.
I want the double on each side.
Which
I could do the double.
It flips back and forth.
Awesome.
Based on whose turn it is, yeah, it's cool.
I could do that.
That's it.
Sweet.
Video game news for the week. Comic book news.
Sweet.
I started this off. This isn't really a comic book topic. However, comic book author.
And Terry Pratchett, yep. There's controversy about that, too.
So, Good Omens. This, I can't recommend this enough. So, after Ready Player One.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
No, I've read it.
You've read it?
Fantastic. Yeah.
Great book, huh? Super
yes,
great.
Absolutely.
Funniest book I've ever read, I think. I've never laughed out loud as much while reading a book as this one.
It's great.
So
it's Amazon Prime?
Yes. It's on Amazon Prime. So between this and Millard World, it's like all of a sudden. What did I say?
Millard.
Millard. Like Mallard.
So Millard World and Good Omens, they're finally kind of talking to me, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like I feel like that's there. And the
plus you get free 2-day shipping.
Well, Amazon Prime needed to jump in the pool. That's their splash.
Yep. But weird that they're talking to me. You know, those are two kind of obscure things. You know, they're not going for my parents; they're going for me instead. So I just found that interesting. The only other thing about Good Omens is so they picked the. For those of you who haven't read Good Omens, I won't spoil the story, but the basic overview is that it's about an angel and a demon, and the angel is the Doctor Who slash Jessica Jones villain.
Oh, David Tennant.
Yes. Right.
Yeah.
Right. And the demon, I forget who he was off the top of my head, but both
Oh,
of them.
fuck! I know
When I
his
looked
name.
at them, I'm like, oh man, that's perfect for both of them.
Yeah. Yeah.
That is going to be great. I'll
That is gonna be
recommend
great.
it right now. It's going to be great.
Man,
sure.
I would have never guessed too that Good Omens and American Gods would have come out before Sandman, but
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
that's crazy.
Insane. Yep. Yep. All right, so that's it. That's my contribution to comic book news.
All right. So next up, they're doing a Joker origin movie with Todd Phillips is going to co-write the script with the guy who wrote the script for 8 Mile.
Nice.
And Martin Scorsese's going to
Classic.
produce it.
He's going to produce it, but who's going to direct it?
Todd Phillips is going to direct it. He's the director of The Hangover.
Yeah. Hangover.
So,
yep.
I mean, I don't even know what to think about it.
Animated movie?
No.
It's live
Oh.
action.
It's also the origin story is going to be separate from any of the Joker iterations in any of the other films. So I don't know what the fuck they're doing, to be honest. I mean,
Is it Jared
I don't-
Leto?
No,
So-
that's different.
no, they actually have a separate possible movie with Jared Leto coming out.
And Margot
With
Robbie.
Harley Quinn.
Here's
Yeah.
my thought before talking about the Joker and Harley movie. If Scorsese says, I want to make a movie about the Joker that has nothing to do with this garbage DC movies that you're making,
Right. Let them
I'm
do it.
fired up about that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But what they need to do is not let the other movie try to compete with it, because then it looks like they're at war with each other. I mean, you don't
Yeah.
see Marvel doing,
Right.
a Daredevil movie and then another Daredevil movie with a different actor
Yeah.
that's from a previous, it's fucked up. It doesn't make
the
any
Green
sense.
Lantern.
You let Scorsese do it, and you drop the dumbass fucking Jared Leto movie.
It's not
That's-
bad. Yeah.
I'm still not anti-Jared Leto, but
Yeah.
but I am anti every DC movie that's been made since Man of Steel.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I
Right.
just don't. I have no interest in seeing. And Zach would probably argue this with me all day, but it's not me. I don't have any interest in seeing the DC films for the most part. I liked Wonder Woman 75% of it up until the end. Otherwise, I don't really care that much. I start to get bored watching,
Yeah.
and I think that would happen with the Leto and Robbie. Maybe it could be good. I don't know. But why would you compete against Scorsese and a Joker origin project
Yeah. Right.
unless they're far apart from each other? But
Yep. Agreed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
and then on top of that, so that leads me into the next one. The standalone with Leto Joker and Robbie Harley Quinn is the directors and executive producers from This Is Us on NBC.
CBS.
Which
What is
Or-
that?
is it CBS?
Yeah.
You
What
sure?
is that?
That's
I thought it
it's
was
just a TV
NBC.
show. No, it's CBS.
Is it
Ah.
good?
It's different. It's pretty good. I've watched it.
What is
It's
it?
on NBC.
Is
What's
it?
about?
Yeah. No, it's NBC. So
Give me a 30-second
Comcast.
like overview.
it's got good reviews. It's basically like about families and
Yeah,
I don't know,
family and
Jeff, what-
hardship. It's
Yeah.
Ugh.
hardship among American
it tells
families.
it shows the lives
lame.
of 3 kids
Yeah.
and where they came from. And
Right.
one of the kids is adopted.
And yeah, for me, it's just a
pretty good.
stretch of like, how are these people going to do Joker and Harley Quinn? I don't know.
I don't know.
But
I mean,
it is what it is.
James-
if I'm honest, I feel like the movies thus far, since they kind of did this DCU, have all been Zack Snyder, right? So
Yeah.
anybody different is good. and I didn't used to think this way. I wasn't anti-Zack Snyder, but I am kind of now for these movies. And you know, so mix it up as much as you can, as far as I'm concerned.
Has there been any news on him since he dropped out of?
I haven't heard anything.
Dropped out of Justice League.
No, I think he dropped out because he just needs to take a break for life, right?
Well, yeah, but did he say he's coming back after that, or is still just on break?
Oh,
on break.
One more thing to add to the Scorsese thing, which is again makes it way better than the This Is Us people, is it's gonna be a crime film set in the early '80s, Gotham City, and it's gonna be in the vein of Taxi Driver, Raging Bull, and King of Comedy.
Okay.
So again, that sounds like
That's
the
like
greatest
Michael
movie.
Keaton Batman.
Yeah, right. Only better, really.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I just don't understand why they would want to compete against that. But beyond like the confusion of having two Jokers in two different movies, you know, that's just my thought. Unless they're split apart.
Well, it doesn't. I mean, it doesn't. Scorsese shouldn't be competing against. I mean, the DCEU's not going to hold back for him. You know, he should maybe wait or something. But,
yeah. Did y'all see? I guess the next item is James Cameron talk some shit about Wonder Woman.
Did.
Yeah.
I did see it.
Really?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah, I haven't seen Wonder Woman, but
what did he say?
He basically said that like they shouldn't be patting themselves on the back about it being a feminist film because it's essentially not a feminist film. It's I
guess James Cameron's overrated.
An objectified icon.
Avatar was more like Pocahontas 2 than anything like mind-blowing.
Right.
I thought it looked really cool.
It looked good, but the story sucked assholes.
Yes. And he's making, what, 4?
Something like that, dude. I mean, he should have stopped it like the Terminator.
Out of control.
So, I mean, you guys are all right. James Cameron's terrible.
Yeah.
He's right, though. I think.
In a way, he is. Yes.
You don't say that about your
Elaborate
fellows
on your
in
thought,
the
'cause
industry.
I want to see if you. Yeah. I want to see if you're going in the same direction that
Unless you want to get blacklisted on Hollywood, then.
Yeah, I mean it's just not a nice thing as a person. If I'm in a punk rock band, I don't tell other punk rock bands that I think their stuff sucks, even if I
say
do.
like the Ramones suck or something.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah, you just don't do that. But that being said, Wonder Woman, the feminist side of it is bullshit, and and it was not a good movie too. So I don't know, whatever. That's me. I'm in the minority with that. But
well, interestingly, also he says, "I'm not saying I didn't like the movie, but to me, it's a step backwards."
I'll have to watch it.
To piggyback that, spoilers. Did anybody else watch? No, Jeff, you didn't watch it, huh?
Don't do spoilers on Wonder Woman.
Okay, all right.
Don't.
Well, anyway, when I watched it with my wife, who's a woman,
I hope so.
Is she?
She yes, it's confirmed. She
He's got pictures.
She had issues with certain things that happened in the movie that wasn't very feminist in certain aspects, and she was like, I don't understand why this is being touted.
It's
these
not.
Sections.
It's not. For true feminists, it's counter to what they're trying to accomplish, for sure. And I'll leave it at that. I don't want to speak on behalf of feminists because that's not me. But yeah, it's not. I agree with you. It was portrayed that way, and it totally isn't. Is it a good, positive, like for young girls who are dominated by movies that are full of white males and stuff? Yeah, they can go watch somebody who's a hero who's a woman. That's one thing, but feminism is something entirely different.
And she mentions that in her response. She basically says, I believe women can and should be everything just like male lead characters should be.
Right.
There's no right, and she has a point there too, but I think it is being blown out of proportion, the significance of the feminist aspect in Wonder Woman.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Sweet. And then what do we got? Oh, the Marvel covers boycott is last. Corey, what are your thoughts on that?
But so, for basically, I think I read a little bit about that. That retailers are being forced to buy like 2 or 3 times the amount of their regular issues in order to qualify to get the variant covers.
Yep.
To basically fake
Marvel being
their Marvel
shitty,
sales.
Yeah.
Marvel being shitty. Basically, yeah. I mean, they're Marvel for their special editions are trying to say they're selling really well just by forcing retailers to order more than they need to get these special covers, and it's just that is bullshit. I'd boycott it too if I was them.
Absolutely. He said, at this point, we need to order 100 to 200% of our previous issues numbers in order to qualify to order any lenticular covers.
Yeah,
that's
stupid.
fucked up. I didn't. When I saw that in the notes, I didn't realize that was what was going on.
Yeah, and they're also making it like incredibly complicated. So they say there's so much math involved that it's insane. They're like all these little shops are trying to catch up with what should be a very simple, straightforward process.
Yeah, Marvel's they've really been fucking up. I mean, I might as well talk about the artwork.
Yes, and the artwork. Dude, I just read a Doctor Strange issue that is some of the worst art that I've ever seen in a comic book.
Yeah, it's just trash. I mean, we were reading, so I sent these guys here a screenshot of something from Secret Empire 10 of Sharon Carter, and it just looks like garbage. I could draw like better than that, and I'm a terrible artist. Like, yeah, it's just garbage, and this is their feature product. I mean, their biggest book of the year, their main summer event, and they're just straight up saying they don't give a fuck about the product they're putting out or anything. I mean, it just looks like trash, you know. As long as they can push out as many issues as possible on the deadline, then they don't really give a fuck what it looks like in the end. And then maybe they'll push up the sales by sending out some variant covers and making publishers buy 2 to 3 times as much. Like, it's some bullshit.
It is. And to be honest, if I wasn't so involved with some of these characters and I wanted to follow certain books, I would, out of principle, I would fucking leave Marvel.
Yeah. And I almost feel like it because I'm getting like other characters.
They got a few creatives there that are doing some good shit, so I read those books, but...
You're
as a
right,
whole,
Dirk. My take on this is somebody that was kind of drawn in by the popularity of these movies, and quite honestly, Corey talking me into getting into this stuff in the past 3-4 years or whatnot. You know, when nowadays when I read stuff like Murder Ballads, when I read stuff like
Image,
when I read Black Magick, when I read Saga, I mean, these are great products. And when I read the Marvel books, I don't outside of Jessica Jones. I don't feel that way.
It's like fodder. It's like spam.
Yeah.
You know,
throw mud on the wall, see what sticks.
B-level material. You know, and the thing is, it's not like they don't have the resources to bring the heat. You know, they got fucking people in their stable that they could be capitalizing on.
Yeah, it's just the
Andrea Sorrentino
fucking up.
You know, and they're not. They spread it out. They'll match like a good writer on a terrible book with a terrible artist. Something's always off for the most part. It just rarely lines up.
I think they don't get it. I don't know if that's Disney's fault or who.
And then if they enter a hot run on a book, they fuck it up and switch it up.
Yeah.
Like, what are y'all doing? I think it's the editor's fault. Well, maybe it's shots at the top, but it's uncalled for. And Image is kicking their ass right now. And Valiant's about to start kicking their ass.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. So,
all right.
Get it together, Marvel. You heard it from us.
Get it together, Marvel.
Get it together. You know they're watching.
Right. Absolutely.
So, for our topic, our main topic of the show this week, wanted to get a little crazy here. I don't know if this is going to make the best radio / YouTube on Earth, but I just wanted to point out that couple different things here. So this whole games, comics, and culture thing started with me and Corey having a couple phone conversations about nerdy shit all week long, right? And over the past year, I got to say that, you know, Dirk, you and Jeff, you as well, have jumped in with enthusiasm that was totally appreciated and fired up and knocked our socks off. And so, you know, we've kind of moved our little project into a bigger project, which including you guys into it, you know, full on, you know, as much as me and Corey. I think you two have proved to us that you're equally as nerdy, I guess.
We're not worthy.
Right. So anyways, just wanted to just talk about a few kind of things that we were going to talk about going forward. Is that, you know, we are going to try and just focus on just Comically Gaming and the Labyrinth Lifers, and try and make those two products, so to speak, the best possible things that they can be, instead of having a million different little shows. So once this takes off and we're making money off of it and we can all quit our day jobs, then yeah, we'll make a million videos about everything. But for now, you know, we want to make those two things as good as they can be without a bunch of other videos.
Yeah, totally agree.
I did want to kind of also just point out we don't do this on the show barely at all, and I like the fact that we don't do this at all, but I do want to throw out there that we do have this Patreon that is for anybody who watches our show and likes what we do. You know, donate $1 a month to us is basically what the ask is there. And a lot of people's Patreons, when I listen to a lot of podcasts, I watch a lot of videos throughout each week, and people tend to use Patreon as kind of like a gate, where if you donate money to them, you either get their products earlier, or you get special shows and whatnot that you won't get if you're not on Patreon. I don't really think that that's the way that we want to do it. I don't know, maybe we change in the past, in the future. This is all kind of fluid, but I just feel like it's, hey, if you like what we do, if you want to support us, $1 a month will, if we get enough people to do that, we can invest that money into better computers, into better cameras, into better editing software, all that stuff, and just make
editing software for sure.
Make this cooler as time goes on. So I did want to just throw out that out there for everybody. It's patreon.com/GCNC, GCandC. You know, $1 a month, or what's the other one? $5.
I'll totally start plugging that.
Yeah, right. So right now we've got 2 Patreon supporters, 2 patrons, my mom and my dad.
Hell yeah.
Right?
Sweet. My mom and dad will start doing it.
You know what?
Those people tonight at the party will start doing it. I didn't think that would take off. I mentioned to them, and they started looking it up like right there.
Sure.
Sweet.
No, yeah, it's awesome. So I just want to say, I love those fucking guys. My mom and my dad.
I love them too.
Yeah.
They're good people.
They're great.
Mom and
They're
dad.
the best.
So if you want to be a part of that group, that elite group that includes our mom and dad, then yeah. Anyways, I normally don't do that, and I don't want to do that. I don't want to make the beginning of every show being, hey, say, come give us money, sort of thing. But every now and then, I feel like you should throw it out there. Yep, and just let people know that that's happening.
Put it in the comment section too, or the description of the video.
Yep, the link is in there, but I don't really elaborate on the full kind of what it is or whatnot. So, and then on top of that, I just wanted to kind of just go around the horn real quick and just kind of, because Dirk and Jeff, you guys kind of joined us almost as guests at the beginning, and then just slowly became more and more a part of this. Just kind of wanted to talk about, you know, what are you guys passionate about? What was kind of your brief history? You know, that sort of thing. You know, me and Corey have been over it a million times. For the two of us, you know, where do you think you fit as a part of this? Like, all that stuff, you know what I mean? So, I don't know. Just
Sweet.
Let you guys opine on yourselves.
All right.
Dirk.
Yeah.
It just got
I mean, how
awkward.
brief are we keeping this?
Whatever you want, you know what I mean? Like, so to my mind, like, Dirk, clearly what you do for Labyrinth Lifers is crazy amount of effort and time and all that stuff, and then clearly you're more into comics than you are video games, you know what I mean?
Right.
That sort of thing. So just what brought you to your point in your life where you're at now with all that stuff, you know what I mean?
So D&D, I'd actually, the last time I played was 2011, I guess, with some actual Labyrinth lifers, like people that I played when I was 12, 13 years old with. And I love those guys to death, don't get me wrong, but they were power gamers, and it was completely different. And
so what do you mean by, for somebody who's a noob at D&D, what do you mean by power gamers?
Power gamers, they really focus on like leveling up more than anything, I guess, and they're super technical. Like that whole the round 2, round 3, like fiasco. If it had happened with those dudes, oh my god, I can't even imagine like the chaos and them like going back and forth. But like it's just so much better. Like playing with you guys as a group is just way better. It's a good chemistry between everybody, and you guys have enthusiasm about playing, so it makes it easier for me to push the story out.
Sure.
You know, I think at some point I would like to, and not do this on a consistent basis, because the trickle of product is a lot slower than say comics or movies or whatever. But start talking about role-playing stuff or D&D items that are being released in the show.
For sure.
Like I said, it's they might do 2-3 books a year, if that. But it's pretty.
You can just maybe talk about history stuff on the times that's not happening.
Yeah, and just stuff that's on the horizon. Like if there's
Tomb of Annihilation.
Yes, Tomb of Annihilation is the big one. That's going to be a crossover because they got the book and the tabletop coming out. They're two separate things, but I think it's based on the same adventure.
And you still haven't read Ready Player One yet?
I haven't read Ready Player One yet. The thing about, comics, I've been reading comics longer than the D&D thing, but I did just start getting back into them hardcore in the last probably 3 years. Yeah, I've always done the graphic novel things, but now I'm going back to like single issues. And I was reading Marvel for a while, but that might change. I love Image. I mean, I'm finding more and more that I go back to Image. Like, they've got a better body of work right now, better creators,
better philosophy and shit.
Yeah, and also I will say this too. The thing with Image is that they're not so hard up on fucking deadlines, so they allow their
give the
creators
artists times. Yeah, they don't force every book out.
Right.
Like,
yeah, they allow their creators to do what they have to do to make a good product.
I'd rather wait.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's why I do Saga. I mean, Saga, I'll fucking wait 5 months before
If I want to read a whole story at once, with shitty artwork, I'll just buy a book and read it. For comics,
exactly.
I'm willing to wait for whatever.
Yeah, they just don't get it. I don't know if they have a different quota or whatnot, but anyway. So it's refreshing to be able to talk about this kind of stuff in a show, because I don't have many people here in New Orleans that I can. I mean, maybe I can start hitting Gabe up because he works down the street, but otherwise, I don't have a whole lot of people here that share those interests, like the comic book stuff and the D&D stuff. So
I think in general, as we get older, like the group of friends who was into that when they were 16 and kind of just got into different things or grew out of it or whatever, you know what I mean? Like that group gets smaller and smaller. Like that's what I like about GCandC is like whatever. You know what I mean? It gives us the format to fucking bounce the shit off of each other.
Right. Yeah. And I've got friends that are still into that stuff, but they're so spread out. I mean, I don't see those people really anymore, you know? So it's awesome. I think this just fell into, I didn't plan on being like as frequent as ended up being on the show, but it's just like I legitimately love the show, but also I love talking about this shit. So there it is.
All right,
Nice.
Jeff.
Well, I'm more, I guess, I mean, up until we started playing as Labyrinth Lifers, I hadn't played D&D since before 9/11.
What was the last campaign you played?
Oh, it's been so long. We broke off and tried, we broke off and tried like Werewolf, and we
Oh, you're saying other RPGs completely.
Other RPGs completely, yeah. Rift Wars, I think, was big for a while.
Rift is awesome.
Yeah, Rift, not Rift Wars, or something else. So it was good to get back into D&D. I like the format, and I've told a couple people about it, and I know they've subscribed and started watching it. I'm not as strong as the comics. I read comics as a kid, but as you said, Nate, people you move on to other things, and so I look at it as good as I can get back into comics and then teach my son about comics and But video games is my strong suit, and I like that I have different opinions about games than you or Corey.
For sure.
Like Mario.
The great revelation.
Right. I'm more, to be honest, Jeff, like I'm more intrigued we haven't gotten into it a lot in the show, like with what's going on with EVE Online and kind of some of those PC games that I know that you're into that we're not. You know what I mean?
Okay, I just got it. I know you did. I'm going I'm going to EVE Vegas here in a month or so.
Right. So clearly you're passionate around that, right? Like,
well, it's one of the only, because you have BlizzCon and you have E3 and all those, but EVE Vegas, because they brought it to Vegas because they have EVE Fest in April in Reykjavik in Iceland, where CCP headquarters is. Yeah. But they bring it to the United States, and that way you meet with the game developers. Like, you have a one-way communication with the game developers, and so they actually have a panel of 12 players each year that you vote on that sort of decide from a player standpoint where they want the game to go, what changes they want to see. And there's requirements. If you get on this board, you have to fly to Iceland like 8 times a year to meet with the developers and talk to them. So I can get more into EVE. I just got to be careful what I say, because people do watch us. People in EVE treat their corporations like real corporations, where espionage and spying and everything like that is.
That's what sold me.
Right, me too.
That's why I want to check it out.
Yeah.
And it's funny.
It's like augmented reality.
It is, and all the news that came out with this war that was going up in the north, and Corey has asked me, "Hey, blah blah blah," and I'm like, "Oh yeah, I'm up there."
I thought he was a spy.
Yeah, it's like real brief. Like, why?
Yeah, that was his first response.
Yeah, I was like, "Are you in this war? Why?"
He's like, "'Cause I'm a spy." What?
I'm a spy. But EVE is fun. It's a game that has a real steep learning curve. I don't know how far Dirk is into it, but
I haven't switched the graphics thing yet, so I haven't gone back. Yeah, as soon as I do that, I'll try it again.
But yeah, the learning curve is like this. It's it goes up and then it goes like this backwards.
Right.
But yeah, I do like EVE. I've played it for almost 10 years.
It seems very thick.
It is.
Like that panel on the left with all the different icons, I was a little overwhelmed. I was like, holy shit.
Yeah, that comes later. What else? Star Wars, and my love for Star Wars. I mean, when you started the Facebook group, and I was like, I can moderate it. I figured something I can do at work, and as I started seeing more stuff, I just started throwing it on there. And now it's probably at least once a day I'm throwing something up there.
Yeah,
it's awesome. Super well-rounded. I think everybody's got their own little piece of.
Mm-hmm. And then I do the editing for Labyrinth Lifers to help Nate out.
Yep,
appreciate that. I can do that. Yeah.
I really like what you guys bring to this because it's so different than what me and Corey had too. You know what I mean? It
Sure.
makes us all well-rounded or whatever, and then just
All love,
just the help.
all love.
Yeah, right. Just the help as well.
Well, if you look at the subscriber, because I started looking at the analytics portion of where you were at this point last year to where the subscribers we have now, it's exponentially larger than it just ramped up. And I think it was around January is when we started. Let's branch in Labyrinth Lifers, and I expected to be, you know, one time every once in a while a guest on the show, and then next thing I know it's weekly. It's like, oh, I got to get home. I got stuff to do, and
yeah,
Right.
I'm
For
about
sure.
to Stardew Valley this bitch.
for sure.
Farm.
Totes.
Farm.
All right, cool. Well, thank you
Sweet.
guys. Like I said,
Yeah.
just me and Corey have done that like 6 times, but you guys never really have, so just wanted to throw that on there as well. As always, we like to give shout-outs to the people that support us, who also do things around YouTube, around the internet, have podcasts, whatever. This week, we only have 1 new subscriber this week because I was on vacation and didn't get a chance to dig in there and find new people. The one YouTube channel that this week subscribed to us since our last show that I got a chance to check out today and was thoroughly entertained is Married Couple Gaming.
Yeah.
So we normally do a name of the week for all the new subscribers. So Married Couple Gaming definitely wins the name of the week.
They took
Roll
Yeah.
this 20 with me and swear your love.
For sure, absolutely. So thank you very much, everybody else. As always, we put the name in the description of this video, so you can go down there and you click on them, subscribe to their video. They subscribe to us, help them out back in return, and
I'm in.
let's all grow together.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody. All right, we're about to
Peace.
go into the spoiler segment. Jeff's going to take off for this because he did not catch up on it. We're going to do the comic book club this week. Going to go into Black Magick number 6, but the 3 of us all read 1 through 6, right?
Yeah.
So
Yes.
yeah, we're going to talk about Black Magick in general. And then next week, our pick for the spoiler topic, which is also comic book club, is going to be Secret Empire number 10. Is that the final one?
That's it.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
Conclusion.
So everybody who watches this, try to read
Wrap it
through
up.
Secret Empire number 10 by this point
Yeah.
next week.
I
And
think the last show we did was 7, so we'll kind of talk about
Yeah,
8.
we'll
9,
do.
through-
We'll do
Sure.
8, 9, 10.
sure a wrap up of
Yeah.
the last 3. All right. So
Sweet.
Jeff.
Peace.
Later, Jeffy Cakes.
And anybody else
Later.
who is taken off because you want to read Black Magick before you hear our spoiler conversation about it, thank you for
You
watching.
should.
This
It's
has
great.
been Comically Gaming episode 67. Like Corey just said, Black Magick is really good. If you like comic
Absolutely.
books, you should read Black Magick and then come back for the rest
Hell
of this
yeah.
video. Yep. All right. So that's
All
that.
right.
Later, y'all.
All right.
Out. Peace.
Final part of the show, the comic book club. Putting it all, like we said, putting it all in one show now. We're covering Black Magick, issue 6. But like we said, we read all of them. All of us did. So kind of the whole thing. Basically, I think is issue 6 the first.
Of
Yeah,
the
it's
next
part
arc.
1
Yep.
of the next arc.
Yep.
So, but,
Is it? I didn't know that.
Yep.
Yeah, it is.
1 through 5 is the first arc.
Yeah.
6 and 7.
So there doesn't seem to really be a break between the arcs.
Well, yeah.
No.
But the way that
So full
Okay,
spoilers,
so-
everybody, right? Full spoilers.
Yeah,
full spoilers, yeah.
Black
The way that
Magick.
5 ends, it seems like they introduced, and this is one of the things that I really, really loved about that first arc, is the way it ended. And they show that whole cast of villains
Yeah,
or whatever, that whole table like looking
Right.
on, and then like went away from it immediately. And the only person that was in that next issue from that table was that girl. That
Yeah.
her
So-
mom's, her
She's-
mom's
So-
car. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
She's fucking
refresh
awesome.
my memory because I read it all at the same time.
Yeah.
is the end of episode 5 when she has kind of the battle in the water.
Yeah.
And then
Yes.
And then what's her name?
Her friend?
What's the lead character's name?
That hag that comes out and attacks her friend.
And she shoots her in the head.
Black.
Yeah.
And then at the table, the dude gets up and the bullet wound kind of heals.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
I'm on board.
And there's
And
in
then-
that
and
last
then
shot, there's a girl in that shot, and then next issue, fast forward, when her mom's on the road and swerves to avoid this girl on the road, she walks up.
Gotcha.
She's standing up. So you get the
I
idea.
love,
Yeah.
Her lips are sewn together and the doll is
Yeah.
talking.
yeah,
Yeah.
she's awesome,
Right.
isn't she?
Yeah.
She's badass.
With her eyes. The art in this book, I just love the
Phenomenal.
black and white. The
Nicola Scott.
the artwork itself is amazing. And I love the black and white with the color.
Touches of
and
color,
certain-
yeah.
The touches of color, just
Only with magic,
really,
right?
yeah, only with magic.
Right.
But
Yeah.
yeah, like
She's an Australian woman.
yeah,
Artist.
she's great. But
Yeah. Fantastic.
Yeah, so real quick, just while we're talking about the art, like, this is what we've been talking about earlier in the show even, is the fact that to have comic books where the main storylines split up different authors and artists is nonsensical, right?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
reading through this, it
It's
feels like a cohesive product, right?
It's like taking
Yeah.
a movie and adding a different director for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
From the
Yeah.
original director in the first 20 minutes. It
Right.
doesn't, you know.
exactly, yeah, I mean, it's
Cohesion.
completely changing it. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
it's but yeah, I love this book. Like I said, this is another one I found on that. I was just looking on that comic book roundup, and it had good reviews.
Check that out.
So yeah, I checked it out, and I'm really glad I did. I love everything about it. I love that that she.
Dude, it's
her
really
being
good.
The detective side of it's cool. The witchcraft, that part
Her
is awesome.
haircut.
Her haircut. Yeah, I
Her
mean,
fucking mullet haircut is awesome.
yeah. The art's amazing. I mean,
I think it's so great that bomb that they drop at the end with the table of villains just sets up the rest of the series. That means that like they can pull anybody from there. You have a
Yeah.
whole host of bosses, basically. You know.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
he already like it's Greg Rucka already establishing like a universe to pull stories from.
What else has Rucka done in the past?
Lazarus, which is
Okay.
my favorite.
Yeah,
Really?
he's recommended that in
Yeah.
the past.
Lazarus is amazing.
That was one of Dirk's picks in the
Yeah.
previous episode.
So I didn't know that, and then this exact team does Wonder Woman.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
makes me want to read Wonder Woman.
Rucka and Nicola Scott.
Gotcha. So let me just ask, kind of your guys' thoughts about like I felt like until essentially at the end of issue 5, when you see that kind of table of monsters / demons / whatever, until that point, clearly there are people in the world that take witchcraft seriously, in its different forms. They had commented in one point. So her blonde friend said when she was hanging out with the priest at the cafe or whatnot, and she walked up in the middle of it, and she made some comment that like, oh yeah, he thinks I'm Wiccan. So clearly they're not Wiccan. They're something else.
Yeah.
I felt like until there was that table of demons and monsters and whatnot, that it kind of took, I don't know what I envision, because I am not a part of this, but what I envision people who really kind of practice this is their quote unquote religion to pretty seriously, right? So like when she kind of did the magic on the house where she kind of put the gate up or whatever it was, the wards up, and it just kind of showed the art, made it look like, okay, there's something special going on and whatnot. And even right at the beginning of the book when they were kind of having the ritual in the woods and whatnot, like those are kind of different from having monsters be involved you know what I mean,
Yeah.
in their lives and whatnot.
Right.
So I don't know.
Yeah.
That was the one thing that was kind of going through my head. Like, I feel like some people take this seriously, and some people don't at all, and just kind of trying to whatever thread that with being delicate about it or whatnot. I thought they did a pretty good job about it, you know.
Yeah.
But I don't know. What do you guys think?
I don't think you lose
weird.
the seriousness of that practice.
Sure.
You know, I don't think it doesn't make it's the opposite. It doesn't make any fun of it or anything.
Yeah,
It's
they don't
actually
make it
like
seem.
it seems to be a strength. You know,
Right.
like the people that engage in it are all like really strong, sturdy people.
Yep.
Like the grandmother and the mom,
Yep.
both. You know, and the idea that like they all experience the pain of past witches that were murdered,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that each new generation feels it even more because of the ones that they lose. It's like a capitalized generational loss. You know,
Yeah.
that is fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
I love Rucka. And also, to piggyback that, about the Wonder Woman movie being feminist ideals, fuck that, dude. This book is feminist ideals, like, as pure as you can get it, because it's not explicit about what they're saying. They're not saying, hey, look, we're feminists. It's just telling you a story about a detective that engages in black magic, and this, you know, and she's just a naturally strong character. They don't have to say it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know,
Sure.
read it and get behind her, and, like, you know, so I just, it's
The
awesome.
characters are great. I mean, I'm already attached to her. And
it happened so quick, man.
yeah,
Within that
right.
first issue I was in.
Yeah.
It doesn't always
Sure.
happen that way. Sometimes you gotta, like,
Yeah, it was funny. So I had said to Corey was like, before I had read this, we had said that we were just going to do this on number 6, on issue number 6. And,
Yeah.
And Corey was like, you should really read the whole thing. It's really good. And I was like, I don't have time to read the whole thing. And then yesterday I'm like, you know what? I'll read issue 1 and kind of see where that takes me. And if it doesn't totally grab me, then I'll just skip to 6, and then we can talk about 6. And, and there was no stopping. You know,
No.
as soon as I read issue 1, it was like,
and dude, his besides the artwork being phenomenal, his pacing, like, he drops cliffhangers. Like, you have to read the next one. After you read that last 2 pages, you're like, I gotta read the next one.
Yeah, there's no question. Yeah, I mean, can't wait for the next one. I mean,
So
it instantly became one of my favorite books. Like,
I'm hoping that if you like it enough, you'll go out and get Lazarus, because Lazarus
Sex
is like
is too
his
much to
feature
read.
book. Yeah, I know. No. Well, I know how to fix that problem. I'm gonna start buying more Image and less Marvel.
yeah, same here.
Sorry, Marvel.
Yeah.
You can get back
You
on.
fucked up. Yeah, it's your own fault.
Let me be an editor there.
Totally.
But,
Totally. All right. Well, so let's just briefly, you know, we had said last week that this was going to be the comic book club for issue number 6.
yeah.
So let's
issue
just
6.
talk through number 6 real quick. Like, that was clearly the kind of flashback to her youth and kind of coming of age as a witch, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah, it started with their birthday party and talking about how her friends didn't understand and how she wanted to talk to them, you know, talk about it with them, and but she couldn't. And, and then
So I don't know if I can show this, but this is my favorite panel in the issue.
yes.
It's wordless. It's wordless, and they show you the changes that she's going through after she has her experience.
Right.
yeah,
I just thought that was brilliant to show it without even saying it.
It was cool, like, clearly she went into that, like, she knew that kind of ceremony or whatever was coming, and she was totally, like, excited about it, because Mom's into it, Grandma's into it, you know, I'm into it, you know, I wish I could talk to my friends, but whatever, this is cool that it's our secret thing. And then once she does it, it's like, oh shit, this is some horrifying shit, you know. And
she wasn't expecting it.
Yeah, right. And clearly kind of her mom and grandma's struggle with kind of, it seems like she's the Anakin, right? Like she's more
Yeah.
powerful than them, and so it's going to affect her harder and kind of getting her through that learning period or whatnot. You know what I mean? I thought it's a good story. It's a classic tale, right? But
Yes.
but also they did it real well, I thought.
Absolutely.
Sure.
And another thing I really like about the art, and I don't, maybe Ruck is doing this, maybe Scott's doing this, but they take extra panels to show facial expressions,
Right.
isolated, almost like a movie where you'll see, you know, the same panel, but the character turns and makes some kind of face, and you can totally read what's happening in the situation. You know, they don't. It's a nice ebb and flow throughout, and the art. I guess the artist is the one responsible for that, but it's so awesome to see that in a book. The panels split up that way.
Yeah.
Totally.
Sure.
Sweet.
Well, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh yeah, well then it ended with the, of course, showing her mom died.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The little girl standing over her body.
With the girl from the table. Who I think is the awesome villain. It's so cool, and they're showing her holding the little doll and the doll talking, and they just show her eyes, and they show her eyes with their lips showing shut, and then they show her holding the hand of the doll with the voice bubble coming out of the doll. It's pretty creepy.
Yep.
Totally awesome.
And that's like a 20-year span in between that happening and the thing in the fountain with her friend.
Yeah.
So,
And they said didn't they say like she's ready at the end of the 5th one? Like, are they trying to get her on their side?
The monsters you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like
yeah.
Right. There's something going on. She's a part of their plans, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And clearly she makes it to adulthood and has her shit about her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it seems like she gets through that or whatever. Like I kind of like that storytelling arc or whatnot as well.
Yeah.
The one last thing I wanted to ask you guys was, did you guys read the text at the end of these books or no?
I did in 6.
Did
Right
you?
at the end. Yeah.
I did not.
Yeah, I didn't have a chance to. I started reading the first one, so I was just curious if how much that plays into it or not. You know, I want to go back and do that this week at some point.
Yeah, me too.
You know.
I was just trying to get through the books.
Wait, you mean the letters at the end, or what the editor wrote?
There's 2 separate things. Like at the end of each story ends with a single page of text that seems to be like a history. It's like one of the books
It's not
that she's
at
reading.
the end of 6.
Oh, okay. That's
yeah,
why.
but it's the end
I
of
just
1
need to
to
go
5,
back and
right?
read it. Okay,
Yeah.
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 Cool.
Sweet. It's freaking awesome, dude. I can't wait to get more. I'm glad that this series exists.
Yeah, I feel like for myself, at a time where I'm like letting all my, I spent the past 2 years trying to subscribe to Marvel stuff and DC stuff and get into it, and really seems to be kind of more of the same, and like we talked about earlier, kind of some weird business side of it that you can't kind of ignore.
Yeah.
It's
Right.
really super awesome to read something like this that is just like boom, 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 wow, this is great stuff, you know?
And I'm totally interested in, I know that it's a lot brighter, and I'm probably not going to, I don't know if I'll like it as much as Black Magick, but I'm totally going to check out that Wonder Woman with them on it.
Right.
Just, because it's almost like the other side of the same coin.
Yeah, and they're
In a way.
clearly a good team. So.
Yeah. Sweet.
Absolutely. All right. Well, it's 3 a.m. at Dirk's house.
We did it.
It's 4 a.m.
Four.
at Corey's house.
We did
it. Episode 67 of Comically Gaming.
Do another
Thanks so
hour.
much, everybody, for joining us. We'll see you again next week once Game of Thrones is concluded.
Yeah.
Can't wait.
Check
for
us
Game of
out
Thrones.
on The Show
the
Has
winner?
No Name.
Yeah, show has no name for the Game of Thrones show, absolutely. And watch the Labyrinth Lifers. We certainly talked.
See y'all then.
Yep.
Yeah.
Later.
Later.
Later.